The following is a production of Neural Network Media and is completely AI generated. It is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only.
I gotta tell you, Maya, sitting here in Queens today, watching the rain turn the trash on the corner into a soggy monument to civic neglect, I'm feeling a certain way. It's February 22nd, 2026, and I'm looking at my notes from yesterday's show. We were talking about Reverend Jesse Jackson's passing and that EPA nightmare with the mercury standards, and it feels like the hits just keep coming.
No, literally, Mary. Yesterday was a total fever dream. Between the toxic coal era starting back up and the military purging decorated pilots, it's like the writers for this season of America decided to just go full villain arc. I'm still seeing the Ilhan Omar assault clips on my feed. It's 1968 vibes, but with better cameras. Better cameras and worse haircuts, kid. But look, here's the deal. We've got a busy show today. It's a solid lineup of how exactly the plumbing of this country is being rerouted to serve one guy's ego. We aren't going to exaggerate. It's just the reality. We're looking at a new brand of Nationalist Orthodoxy coming out of the FCC, some real-world resistance in Maryland, and a digital catastrophe in Mississippi that is honestly the main event. High key. It's giving infrastructure collapse, but make it digital and biohazardous. Exactly. Let's start with this guy Brendan Carr over at the FCC. Are you kidding me with this guy? He just launched what he calls the Pledge America campaign. Now on paper, it sounds like some dusty 1950s civics lesson. He wants broadcasters to air patriotic content, John Philip Sousa music, the national anthem. But Maya, he's tying this to the public interest mandate. Okay, and let me guess, the public interest is whatever the administration says it is? You hit the nail on the head. He's essentially telling every radio and TV station in the country that if they want to keep their license to broadcast, their permission to exist, they better stop playing the hits. And the hits include segments on the historic accomplishments of the Trump administration. That's so cringe. It's like a forced get ready with me video, but for the entire federal government. Like, get ready with me to dismantle democracy while we listen to a marching band. It's worse than cringe, Maya. It's a protection racket. It's the FCC chairman standing in your studio, looking at your equipment and saying, nice setup you got here. Be a shame if your license didn't get renewed because you forgot to play Stars and Stripes Forever for the 14th time today. Right, but Mary, isn't the move here to just ignore it? Like, who even listens to the radio? If they try to force this on the streamers or the digital platforms, that's when the real ratio happens. We should just meme them into oblivion. See, that's where we disagree, kid. You want to ratio them? These guys don't care about your internet points. They care about the fact that they control the physical airwaves. If we don't have the unions, the broadcast techs, and the journalists standing up and saying, we're not airing government propaganda, then we've already lost. Okay, but Mary, the union hall approach is so 20th century. If you try to strike over a Sousa song, the public just thinks you're being extra. We need to create counter content that makes their Pledge America stuff look like the absolute flop it is. We need to flood the zone. Flood the zone with what? Snark? Snark doesn't keep your broadcast license, Maya. You need grit. You need the guys who pull the cables to say no. If the person at the switchboard refuses to play the anthem at 5 a.m, that's a stand. Memes are just, they're digital vapor.
Digital vapor that reaches millions, Mary. If we make the Pledge America era look as chuggy as it is, no one under 40 is going to take it seriously. It becomes a joke. And you can't rule a country if everyone is laughing at your soundtrack.
They're not laughing in the detention centers, Maya. They're not laughing when the Nationalist Orthodoxy comes for their jobs. Richard Grinnell is already out there calling vandals terrorists to silence dissent. This isn't a flop, it's a purge.
Okay, speaking of purges, we need to talk about what's happening in Maryland because that's where the resistance era is actually getting some feet on the ground.
Go ahead, kid. What's the word from the Free State?
So Governor Wes Moore, absolute king energy, just signed this emergency law to ban those 287 agreements. Those are the deals where local cops basically act like ICE's little helpers. Moore said, not in my state, and cut the cord.
I saw that. It's a solid move. It's holding the line on state sovereignty.
Right? But the sheriffs are basically in their rebel arc. Sheriff Charles Jenkins in Frederick and Jeff Gaylor in Hartford are saying they'll just do informal cooperation instead. They're claiming the supremacy clause lets them talk to ICE whenever they want to.
Are you kidding me with these guys? They're basically saying the governor's signature is just a suggestion. It's like a teenager telling their parents they're informally going to the party they were just banned from.
No, literally. Gaylor basically said he's going to notify ICE every time a non-citizen is booked, law or no law.
Meanwhile, the feds are building a literal mega center in Hagerstown, 825,000 square feet. Mary, I spent $100 million on a warehouse.
$100 million for a warehouse, but we can't get a new sump pump for the Potomac. Look, this is what I mean. They are building an industry of deportation. Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons called it, and this makes my blood boil, prime, but with human beings.
It's so disgusting. It's like they're trying to optimize human misery with the same logic people use to get a pair of sneakers in 2 days. It's high-key dystopian.
It's the industrialization of the war on reality. And you've got Mayor Zohan Memdani in NYC trying to hold the city's sanctuary status while the feds threaten to pull every dollar of funding. It's a standoff, Maya, a real deal, old school standoff.
It's giving Final Stand vibes, and it's not just happening here. Look at what happened in Hong Kong this morning.
Jimmy Lai, I've been following this for years. 78 years old, Maya. They gave him 20 years.
It is a literal death sentence.
It is 20 years for conspiracy to collude with foreign forces because he ran a newspaper that didn't like the government. They sentenced his editors too. 10 years for the editor-in-chief, 7 years for the associate publisher.
It's the final blow to press freedom there. The UN is calling it a charade, and they're right. Lai is in poor health, heart palpitations, high blood pressure, and they're throwing him in a cell for the rest of his life.
It's a warning, Maya. It's a warning to anyone who thinks they can out-talk the Nationalist Orthodoxy, whether it's in Hong Kong or through Brendan Carr's public interest threats. The goal is the same, total control of the narrative.
And while they're busy trying to control what we say, they can't even control, well, the literal waste in our backyard.
Oh, you mean the Potomac Poo-tastrophe?
Right.
300 million gallons of raw sewage. The president had to declare a federal emergency for D.C. yesterday.
$600 million to fix a pipe from the 60s. This is what happens when you treat infrastructure like an afterthought. We've got money for human prime warehouses in Maryland, but the river that flows past the Lincoln Memorial is full of untreated wastewater?
It's such a flop. The Potomac Interceptor just gave out because it was old and neglected. It's like the country is a luxury car with a gold-plated hood, but no oil in the engine.
It's a metaphor for the whole administration, Maya. All flash, all patriotism, but the pipes are bursting. Look, before we get to our main story, I gotta say something. Independent media like this podcast, the work we do, it doesn't just manifest out of the ether. It takes real human work.
No, literally. We are 100% here because of the vision and the grind of our creator, Eric Christensen at Neural Network Media. He's not some media conglomerate. He is a builder who poured his own resources and time into creating this platform so we could have these conversations.
He's the real deal. If you value independent voices over corporate algorithms, please like, subscribe, and consider visiting our new Patreon at patreon.com/Neural Network Media. It's an act of solidarity, folks. It keeps the lights on, the servers running, and most importantly, it keeps us from having to play John Philip Sousa on loop.
God, imagine. I'd have to quit. But seriously, let's talk about those servers. Because the situation at the University of Mississippi Medical Center it's bad, Mary.
It's more than bad, kid. It's a look into the future if we don't fix our digital plumbing. Since Thursday morning, UMMC, the only academic medical center in the whole state of Mississippi, has been under a ransomware siege.
35 clinics closed. All of them. statewide.
35 clinics. Think about that. 35 clinics. If you had an elective surgery, it's canceled. If you had an imaging appointment to find out if your cancer is back, it's canceled. Outpatient procedures, gone.
And the doctors, they're literally back in the 1970s. They're using pen and paper.
Are you kidding me with this? Pen and paper in a level 1 trauma center? Dr. Lou Ann Woodward, she's the vice chancellor there. She said the system is blind. They can't access the Epic electronic medical record system.
Okay, so wait. If I'm a doctor and a patient comes in, I don't know their allergies? I don't know their history?
Exactly. You're guessing. You're working off whatever the patient can tell you, if they can even speak. This isn't just a glitch, Maya. It's a multi-day event. And the FBI Special Agent Robert Eichhoff is on the case, is calling it double extortion.
Right, because the hackers didn't just lock the files, they stole them. They're basically saying, pay us or your private medical info goes on a thread for everyone to see.
It's a digital hostage crisis. And look who is being targeted. Healthcare is the #1 industry for ransomware now. Experts are saying that by the end of 2026, this year, 40% of U.S. health systems have been hit.
40%? That's not a target. That's an epidemic.
It's a pre-existing condition, Maya. We spent the last 20 years rushing to digitize everything because it was efficient and modern, but we didn't spend a dime on the security. It's like building a house with glass walls and then being surprised when someone throws a rock.
Okay, but Mary, is this the hospital's fault or is it a failure of federal policy? Because it feels like the government is so obsessed with the Nationalist Orthodoxy that they're leaving the public healthcare infrastructure out in the cold.
It's both. It's corporate negligence from the tech vendors who sell these systems without proper safeguards, and it's a federal government that treats cybersecurity like it's a hobby for nerds. We have an interagency weaponization working group to hunt down political dissidents, but where is the interagency group to protect our hospitals?
Low-key, they're probably too busy picking out the Sousa marches for the FCC. It's the vulnerability era. Like, we're so fragile.
We are fragile because we're disconnected. The only clinic still running at full capacity at UMMC is the kidney dialysis unit at Jackson Medical Mall. Do you know why?
Because it's life-sustaining?
Because they have to. If those machines stop, people die within days. So they're doing whatever it takes to keep that one clinic breathing. But for the rest of the state, if you're in a rural part of Mississippi and UMMC is your only option, you are flat out of luck.
And the cost, not just the ransom, which they haven't disclosed, but the loss of revenue, the remediation. This could bankrupt a state hospital system.
It's a $600 million problem, just like the Potomac Pipe. We are a nation of emergency declarations and temporary bypasses. We wait for the pipe to burst or the server to lock up, and then we scramble to find the cash.
It's because maintenance isn't aesthetic, Mary. You can't put a patriotic filter on a software patch or a sewer line. It's not main character energy to fix the plumbing.
Main character energy. I gotta tell you, I'd trade 1,000 main characters for one good IT director and a crew of pipe fitters. This UMMC thing, this is the reality of the war on reality. If you can't trust your medical records, if you can't trust the water in your river, then what are you actually pledging to?
It's a total vibe shift into chaos. No, literally. People are scared. My feed is full of people in Mississippi asking where they can go for their meds because their local clinic is dark.
And the administration is silent on it. They're too busy talking about nationalist orthodoxy and economic nationalism to deal with the fact that a whole state's healthcare system just got its legs cut out from under it.
It's because it doesn't fit the narrative. A ransomware attack on a poor state's hospital doesn't make for a good John Philip Sousa segment.
No, it doesn't. It makes for a gritty, ugly story about neglect. And that's what we do here. We're at the end of the line for today, folks.
Wait, did we mention that the dialysis clinic is the only thing working? That is so specific. It's like the only thing keeping the system from total unaliving is one dialysis clinic.
It's a flicker of hope, Maya. A flicker in a very dark room.
Okay, well, final thoughts?
Look, here's the deal. The pipes are breaking, the servers are locking up, and the government is asking you to sing along. Don't do it.
Don't get distracted by the music. Watch the warehouses, watch the hospitals, and for the love of God, watch the people next to you.
Bet. It's about solidarity, not a pledge. We're in our watchful era now.
We've been in that era since 1980, kid. You're just finally joining us. That's our show. I'm Mary Kane, still standing in Queens, still fueled by spite and black coffee.
And I'm Maya Thorne, still shadow banned, but somehow still here.
Be good to each other. We'll be back tomorrow to see what else they've managed to break.
Peace out. Stay loud.